This is Nasha Kasha, Ukrainian Almanac. 28 minutes of stories about Ukrainian life. I'm your reporter, Stefan Andrusiak. Вітаю вас, дорогі слухачі. Welcome. This is episode 139. The Landmark Inn sits just back from a key intersection in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Dawson Road and Highway 17. The intersection is key because it's close to a regional health sciences center. Families visiting patients from out of town often stay at the inn. The hotel's parking lot borders on a shopping mall which is anchored by a Walmart. In the hotel pool, children squeal with delight under the watchful eyes of parents. It's late on a Friday afternoon. The hotel lounge is doing a brisk business. Standing room along the lengthy bar is filling up. Now, many memories may fade after more than 4 decades, but police officers haven't forgotten. They haven't forgotten the only cop in this city to have died in the line of fire. Constable John Kusznier was fatally shot at the Landmark Inn, January of 1978, and this story is about him and the family he left behind.
I'm Greg Stevenson, president of the Thunder Bay Police Association. I've been an officer for over 20 years. Constable John Kusznier gave his life protecting the citizens of Thunder Bay on January 15th, 1978. Every year we gather to remember John, and we pay homage to John and the sacrifices that he made, and also the sacrifices that his family has made. 3 sons grew up without a father. Olga lived without a husband. On that day, John responded to a call like any other call and did not return home. We are ever cognizant of the fact that when we dress for work, that there may come a time when we don't return home. That has to have a bearing on the officers as they're responding to calls, not knowing the dangers that are awaiting them. I want it known that John will never be forgotten within the city of Thunder Bay for the sacrifices that he made. I know our officers look at his picture every day that they report to briefing before they go out on their shift as a reminder that they too could make the ultimate sacrifice, but yet they still choose to do what they do to keep our city safe. They have chosen this career and they perform it to the best of their ability. Thank you.
Як тобі сказати, без тебе не можу спати, і місяць по кімнаті розкинув сатин. Очі тобі зав'яжу, і серце своє покажу, тобі про все розкажу з настінних картин. Тримай мене міцно одною рукою, так сильно і ніжно вбивай мене, віддай мені муку своїми руками, моїми губами, лікуй себе.
Mrs. Kusznier.
Yeah.
Hi, Stefan.
Stefan, how are you?
I'm very well. Hello.
Oh, and I got a couple. Well, my granddaughter lives. A 23-year-old moved in here for a couple of months. So who does she come with? A cat. Then she brings home a baby cat and 2 birds.
I know the feeling.
Don't take off your shoes or anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah. My name is Olga Kusznier. I live in Thunder Bay, Ontario. My dad came at the age of 19 from the Ukraine, born in Poland, but came from the Ukraine. My mother was born in Manitoba, and then they met in Fort William, which is Thunder Bay South, and married in the year of 1940. I was born in Thunder Bay, which was Fort William, Ontario. In 1944, I'm 74 years old now.
Large family, brothers, sisters?
I have a brother and a sister, and we were all born here in Thunder Bay. And we all live in Thunder Bay. We did belong to the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. We went to church every Sunday, and there was Sunday school. We had 2 teachers. And then when I was 12, I joined a Ukrainian dance group in the north side of the city, which is Thunder Bay now, but it was called Port Arthur. It was at a Ukrainian hall. This is where I met a lot of dance people from across the city.
Я музику дуже люблю, на музику піду. Як музика та й заграє, забуду я біду. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Як я тую музиченьку зачую, зачую. Болить мене головонька, вдома не ночую. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна.
My maiden name was Cham, C-H-A-M. Doesn't sound like a Ukrainian name, but everybody said to me, oh yeah, your dad probably shortened it from Cheminsky or something, but in Ukrainian it's Ham. So it's only 3 letters. When you came into Canada, didn't know the spelling, so they spelt it the way it sounded.
Maybe it was Chamne, which means well-behaved.
Oh, well, geez, that would be nice to know. I really don't know. We performed in a couple of the Ukrainian halls at concert. We had a parade, and it was on July the 1st, and we were on a float in our costumes, so it went from the south side to the north side.
А я гаю не рубаю через ті осики, а я вдома не ночую через ті музики. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, зарай ми музиченьки, я воробі скрипки, а я собі погуляю порогам на збитки. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна.
I had a couple of dance partners, but in the end I did dance with my husband-to-be, which I didn't know at the time. We performed in the first year that the music festival took in dance groups, because music festival was usually piano, singing, and whatever, and then they went into dance groups. We won, 8 of us, 4 girls and 4 guys, and we won the first festival in the national dancing of our heritage.
And during that win, John was your partner?
Right.
Ви музики грайте, грайте, а ви люди чуйте, а ви старі йдіть додому, молоді ночуйте. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, надайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. We're not Russian, we're not Polish, we're not Lithuanian. We're the ones, the only ones, so kiss us, we're Ukrainian. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна. Ой, та йду, найду, найду, на, ой, та йду, найдайна.
And then I got married we danced till we were 18. I was 18, going on 19, and got married when I was 19 and a half. He was 23.
Now, was he on the police force yet?
Yes, he started the police force in 1966. Our son was a year old. And yes, he was on the police force for just shy of 12 years.
Can I ask you about the day it happened, or is that too painful to talk about?
No, it's already 40 years.
Can you tell me how the day started?
It was an evening shift. I was in front of the TV. The boys were all sleeping. And he went to work for 11 p.m. And then and I had fallen asleep on the couch or on the chair, and there was a knock at the door, and it was after 12. And I opened the door, and it was my husband's sergeant, and he said to me, "It's John." I said, "Well, Cliff, he's gone to work." He said, "Yes. There's been an accident. We want you to get dressed, and we will take you to the hospital." So I woke up the boys, the older one, and I said, "You look after your brothers, and Mom's going to the hospital, and I'll let you know Dad's been in an accident." And that's all they told me. There was a driver that had driven the sergeant, and they put us in a room, and we were waiting for the nurse to come in, and she came in and told me that he's gone, that he was shot in a brawl at the hotel. And I just said to them, "Take me home." My in-laws came in, my husband's mother and father, and of course, she was really out of it and hollered and screamed that she wanted to see them, but they wouldn't allow us to see John at that time. So the next time we seen him was when he was in the casket at church.
Did the community come together for you?
Oh, it was unreal. The flowers, the donations, and at the time, we were working toward a CAT scan in our local hospital. So I had said in the paper to donate to that in John's memory. He had a military funeral. They stood guard of honor and stayed all night in the church and changed shifts. Very large, about 1,100 people. It just was enormous to even grasp what was going on. There must have been 3 busloads of officers, people from Toronto, out of town, from Winnipeg, across our whole country. Even a couple of the American police officers came in from Duluth and Minneapolis. Yes, and it was hard. It was just so overwhelming to take it all in. And I think it took several years to really, well, we had no choice but accept it. Somehow, me and the boys, with help, the Kinsmen and the Police Association, they had a committee, and they raised money for my boys. So my boys were quite fortunate. People remember this, and it's been 40 years.
You said at the hospital when the nurse came in and gave you the bad news, you said, just take me home. Because
the boys were home. I had to get home because now my first step was to be home because I have to tell them and to comfort them.
Did John and you ever talk about the possibility of a dangerous outcome?
Yeah, it's funny at the odd time because, my husband probably went to sleep, say, about 7 or about 8 o'clock in the evening, just to get a couple hours of sleep. That's what carried him to the morning. And the boys were all in bed, and I'd be in front of the TV, and wouldn't I fall asleep? So he would get dressed, I could hear him, and then he would come and say, "Good night, honey, I'm off," and I'd be I'm sleeping in the chair. And he'd say, "You better say goodbye. You just don't know. I might not come home one day."
This is Nasha Kasha, a Ukrainian almanac. We come to you from CHRW 94.9 FM on the campus of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. On CHMR 93.5 FM in St. John's, Newfoundland. CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. Local 107.3 FM in St. John, New Brunswick. CJLO 1690 AM in Montreal. CFRC 101.9 FM in Kingston. CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton, CKMS 102.7 FM in Kitchener-Waterloo, CKLU 96.7 FM in Sudbury, CILU 102.7 FM in Thunder Bay, 101.5 UMFM in Winnipeg, and CFMQ 98.1 FM in Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan.
Was there an arrest? Was there a court case? Was there an outcome?
They had arrested a woman and a guy. Yes, there was a case. They didn't have it in Thunder Bay. They took it into Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Yeah, everybody got off. Nobody paid for this. They never did find the gun, though. Never found the gun. The gentleman that was charged with it was sent back to Europe because he came from Europe somewhere. He tried to get back into Canada several times, but he was caught at the borders or however he came. But no, nobody paid for that crime. Nobody.
It was a brawl, a fight?
There was a brawl at the hotel. It was in a bar up in the north side of the city, and it was the Landmark Inn. The staff at the desk called in for police to come. At the time, my husband was training a young officer. He was under my husband's care. He froze. And so my husband died from gunshot wound, and my husband, I think, did shoot once, and he did strike a person, so there was 2 deaths in this. My husband, the policeman, and somebody that was involved in this brawl. It's been the only time a police officer has lost his life in the line of duty here. Couldn't drive by there for years or go in there, but now, if I had to go in for something or someone was in town, and because we're close to medical people like from Armstrong and the outlying areas, the hotel is now run by Native people. A lot of people come from the outlying areas that have surgery, doctor's appointments, and hospital appointments. So it's a busy hotel. That was where the brawl was.
It was in the hotel or in the bar?
It was outside. Yeah, my husband came, and I guess when it came out, and he was being shot at, so he returned the shots. But the young fellow that was with him, eventually he couldn't handle it. He felt that he was at fault, and he wasn't there. He just froze. He did leave the police force, and eventually he moved out of Thunder Bay.
What does this mean to you, 4 decades having passed?
The year after my husband passed away, where he used to coach hockey, they renamed it the Kusznier Parkette. After my husband died, the boys were all played hockey. They were children. They wanted to go and play and do things, and now that they're 53 and 50 and 48, they're proud of their mother. They were proud of their dad. Yes, it was hard for them, but you know what? Life goes on.
Bez tebe dusza slipá i тіло моє мов нерідне. Bez тебе один туман. Bez tebe kruгом вода, куди не глянь, землі не видно. Без тебе кругом обман. Метень шукає тебе душа моя, бо знає, де ти, там я. Без тебе моя любов, немов розкидане намисто, червоне в снігу лежить. Навколо застигла ніч, і віє холодом навмисно, світає душа, не спить. Летить, шукає тебе душа моя, бо знає, де ти, там я.
My son Mark, who's 50 years old, and he's an auxiliary OPP, and his son, who is 25, is an auxiliary OPP police officer, which is very nice, and I'm proud of them.
Has the Ukrainian community been close to you? Have they supported you?
They've acknowledged me, asked about the boys. I think the support was just saying hello. You know, I just needed people to acknowledge me, and they did.
Так близько твоя рука, навіть коли тебе немає, я знаю, де ти, там я блукаю, де ти, там я літаю, де ти, там я.
There's this parquet named in your husband's memory. There's a bridge and the street, I think.
Yes, not too far from where I live. And it's Kusznier Drive, spelled Kusznier. When an officer died in the line of duty, they started to name bridges. So then the Thunder Bay Police Association contacted me, and they picked the bridge on the highway going east, maybe 10 kilometers out of the city. It's Current River Bridge, and it's now the John Kusznier Memorial Bridge. He's not forgotten. And for the last 4 years, going on 5 years, I'm involved with the senior citizens at the Ukrainian Catholic Church. It takes in all denominations, just not Ukrainians. Yeah, it's Holy Cross, the Ukrainian Catholic Church, Holy Cross, on Victoria Avenue. And I know a lot of the people, I guess, especially when it's Christmas or Easter, I really like to attend. I've taught my kids what we eat at Christmas, meatless Christmas Eve, Easter, and they all pitch in, and I've shown the grandkids to make pareja, and cabbage rolls. So hopefully they'll carry on. They are very proud of their heritage, and they know what their roots are and our family roots. After my husband passed away, it was within that first year, my aunt and uncle in Saskatoon, Stephen and Helen, said, come to Saskatoon. We can try and help you, just help you and the boys. She said, but, you think about it. But talking to the boys, they said, no, Mom, we were born here and wanted to stay here. But I have family in Regina, Saskatoon, and Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan. I got so close to my cousin, like a brother, probably closer than a brother, and his wife. And they have 3 boys. So when they used to come to Thunder Bay or we'd go there, like we had 6 boys running around. Used to meet my cousins would come in we'd go to the Ukrainian Dolphin Festival. My cousins would travel from Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, and we would travel from Thunder Bay. And we'd meet there. We had so much fun. We met a band from Winnipeg, and they were called the Old Timers. And we would go to the hotel and dance in the evening till closing time. And so it was my cousins from Saskatchewan, and one of the band members said, and then we said that we're Ukrainians from Thunder Bay, so we were called the UFOs. And when we don't come, they always ask about the UFOs. Ukrainians from Ontario.
There's a band called the Ukrainian Old Timers from Winnipeg, and they recently put out a song that I've played on my show called Someone Stole My...
Pishka.
No. That's
Stole the Kishka.
well, Who Stole the Kishka was a song
Yeah.
from a Philadelphia group
Right.
who were Ukrainian, and it was a huge hit. Someone stole my kubasa.
Kubasa? Oh, really?
Someone stole my kubasa. Can you believe that?
I could believe it because I know them personally, and we had so much fun. Say in 30 years, I've probably been there about 6 or 7 times. So yeah, it's time to go again. Maybe in the next year.
Someone stole my kubasa when I turned my back. What were they thinking? Make me mad as heck. If I would have caught them, I'll give them a smack. Someone stole my kubasa when I turned my back. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, oi, oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Round and something fully packed, it was hanging on the rack. Someone stole my kubasa when I turned my back. It was very tasty, not an ounce of fat. Someone stole my kubasa, would you bring it back? Someone stole my kubasa, oi, oi, oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi.
So these indeed are the Ukrainian old-timers. In the program you also heard Christina Fedina singing Tremai, which means hold me. The band Sluchai played Oi Taiduna Dana. Pianist Evan Wish performed his own composition, 3 times to the right. Okean Elzy sang Bez Tebe, which means without you. And Zoloty Strune played Nicz Taka Hospode.
Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. One day there was a knock on the door, my head it was so sore. Police were standing there with a happy stare. They brought back my kubasa, that's what I saw. No longer am I not attacked, my kubasa is back. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, oi, oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi. Someone stole my kubasa, oi, 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 oi.
Partial funding for Nasha Kasha comes from the Taras Shevchenko Foundation. Subscribe to our free podcasts or find us on Nasha Kasha's Facebook page. I'm your reporter Stefan Andrusiak. До милої зустрічі за тиждень часу, дорогі слухачі.